I tried to record this a couple minutes ago and my phone ran out of memory, so I had to delete a bunch of stuff and I'm back to it. So I have my niece in the car, you might hear her. I'm going to try and make this as quick as I can with giving you the full shebang update. Basically, I haven't been able to update because I've been gone or really, really busy. So, wait, I am up right now. I have a broken foot. I cannot work out. I am rededicating myself, as of yesterday actually, to tracking for Weight Watchers. I really have been terrible about tracking what I eat, and therefore I have been eating not such great things or too much of things, and it's not been helping. And I was doing really great at working out, and then I broke my foot, so I can't work out. And the eating has, especially since we were on vacation, we were in Disneyland, so that just really didn't help the weight situation. So I know I'm up, I think I'm up like 3 pounds in the last month, the last three-ish weeks. So not great. Definitely going to be trying really hard to rededicate myself to everything and figure out things I can do working out wise while I have a broken foot for the next 2.5 weeks. I can't take the boot off except to go to bed really and take a shower. So that's just been kind of crappy. What else? So we were at Disneyland. We were basically gone for a full week from Thursday to Thursday, and then when we got back, it's just been absolutely crazy bananas. I've been trying to catch up on everything, and it's just been insane. So there's that. Sorry about not updating more videos, but that's why. So there will be another adoption option series on Saturday. In terms of adoption classes, this week is class number 4. We just finished class number 3 last Thursday. It went really well. Class number 2 was talking about the different kind of developmental needs and what can be missing, and talking about, you know, you may get, depending on what age level you're comfortable with, you may get a 4-year-old who's really developmentally more like a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old or something along those lines. There might be eating issues, there might be rocking issues, for like self-soothing issues, hoarding issues, that kind of thing, anger issues, obviously. So we were talking about all the different developmental and issue things that can come up, and this past week we were talking about how to tell the children their story. So, you know, at 3 years old, you wouldn't say things the same way you would to a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old, and so on. So basically, their story is very important, and by the time they leave home, whatever your definition of leave home is, whether it be, you know, actually leaving to college or whether it be self-sufficient, that kind of thing, they should know their full story. And so how to tell them their story and not lie to them, but make it more age appropriate, that kind of thing. So that was a really interesting week. This week, I'm not quite sure what we're going to talk about. We'll see. What else? It is cycle day 2. I'm broken out. Not exciting. Not exciting at all. And what else? What else? I don't even know. I've got this weird... I was actually talking to Ashley about this the other night. And I've got this weird mind game thing going on. And it's... AF showed yesterday. And it's sad because, you know, it didn't, like, this cycle didn't work out. But at the same time, I feel a little relieved because getting pregnant at this point would potentially mess up adoption stuff. slightly. Not for good, but so it's very weird feeling, and it's very mind trippy, and I'm not quite sure how to deal with all that, but something that's a true feeling about all this, so I might as well put it out there. What else? Oh, IVF is still in the plan, and it is looking much brighter future for IVF. Our original plan was to have me babysit, and every time he got overtime, or I got babysitting money, or what have you, we were going to put all of that extra money into our savings account, and then with our tax return, we were going to put our tax return into the savings account, and that was basically going to be our IVF fund. Well, a couple years ago, his grandmother died, and she left an inheritance to all the grandkids, but they couldn't release the inheritance. They couldn't release her, estate, because for all that to happen, they had to sell her piece of land, but they split it into 2 pieces of land, and one piece of that land did not have any water rights. It's in Montana, so it's a big water rights type of issue, but it didn't have any water rights, and it's marshy land, so it's not good for building, so nobody wanted it, and it's been just sitting there for like a few years now, and they finally sold it so they can release the estate, and it's quite a bit of money that we're going to be coming into. So that's really nice financially, especially because infertility treatments has completely depleted our savings. So yeah, everything's looking great. We're doing well. There's 2 major things we need to do with our house. One is finish redoing our bathroom, and we want to replace the doors. All the doors are pretty old, and they're wood, so old wood doors look pretty, but they're just not great in terms of, weather and such things. Other than that, so I guess there's a few things we want to do. Replace all of the doors, redo our bathroom, and I want to get a new fence. We have an old wooden fence, and we have to replace a few boards and nails before we can adopt, because that has to be, we can't have any loose boards or nails to adopt. But I would really like one of those acrylic fences that's a little bit taller than ours, because if you're standing inside of our house, you can actually kind of see into the windows of the houses behind us, and I don't like that. I also want a fence that's going to last a long, long time, which wood boards just don't, unless you refinish them every year or repaint them every year, and we don't do that. So I want to get one of those nice acrylic fences, and that's pretty much like the biggest thing. We have to have our whole house rewired, and not rewired, but all the wires rerouted, because the people that did the electrical in our house did it basically, I think, to like Australian code, and it just did not work, and they didn't know what they were doing, so it's not to code, and they didn't know what they were doing, and basically everything that has power is on one breaker. So it's really bad, but that's it. I know this is really long. I'm sorry. I said I was going to try and keep it short, so sorry, but I will talk to you all later. Bye.